And we bid you a very pleasant good evening and welcome back to the Game of the Week on the RBA Sports Network as we are live in the tower at Lee-Davis High School for the rematch. Number 1 versus number 2. 3 weeks ago tonight, we were at Atlee High School, and number 1 Atlee hosted number 2 Lee-Davis, and in a 9-inning defensive pitchers duel, Atlee lost their first game of 2016 to their arch rivals, the Confederates, 2-0 in 9 innings. 3 weeks later, the rematch. With very heavy hearts and under conditions that none of us dreamed we'd have and none of us wanted, a community comes together to watch two teams fight it out for the top spot in softball as we head into the home stretch of the regular season, but more importantly, come together to support, love, and take care of one another. Rob Witham along with you here live on the RBA Sports Network. Thank you so much for being with us on this evening where some games, due to field conditions and wet grounds, were not able to get done. We know the other rivalry night function at Hanover Patrick Henry has been postponed until Wednesday, and hopefully that'll give us a chance to head up there and watch that action on Wednesday night of next week. So all of the attention in the county tonight here at the campus of Lee-Davis High School as the Lee-Davis Confederates, number 1, unbeaten in our RBA Sports Network Top 10 softball poll. They ascended to number 1 from their preseason rank of 2 when they beat Atlee 3 weeks ago tonight, 2-0 in 9 innings. Atlee has not lost since. That's their lone loss of the season. They've had victories over James River. They've had victories over King William. They beat Hanover 2 weeks ago. Their game against Patrick Henry last week moved up 24 hours to beat the rain, and they won in Ashland. And so now it's a battle that we will not see again in the postseason unless Lee-Davis makes it through 5A South, Atlee makes it through 5A North, and could it be possible that in 2016, for the second straight year, 2 Hanover County softball teams could make the 5A state tournament up in Fairfax the second weekend in June? Patrick Henry fans are going, wait a minute, don't forget about us. Atlee's going to have to get through us before we will relinquish our 2-time 5A North Region Championship trophy. And that is absolutely correct. Patriots, young, struggling just a little bit, had a couple of losses here in the last couple of weeks, but their best softball is yet to come. And who knows what's going to happen come Conference 16 tournament time between Atlee, Patrick Henry, Orange, Halifax, all extremely good teams. In fact, right now, if the tournament started today, Patrick Henry would be the number 4 seed, and Atlee would only be number 2 because one team outside of the region here in the Richmond area is still undefeated. That's how good Conference 16 is. So there's no guarantee that either Atlee or Patrick Henry are going to make it to the North Region tournament. They got to get out of Conference 16 first. For Lee-Davis, it'll be a matter of going through Conference 11, and if they can grab one of the 2 bids from that conference, head into 5A South and try to get back to the state tournament for the first time in 5 years. They last were there when they won the championship in the year of 2011. In front of us right now, the Atlee and Lee-Davis softball players.
At that time, the Atlee Raiders softball team presented the Lee-Davis softball team a signed banner from not only the softball team, but the members of Atlee High School as well. We want to thank Atlee for their support of everything that has happened here in Mechanicsville.
A fantastic gesture as Atlee today at school put up a large banner, and they had members of the Atlee High School community sign it. The Atlee softball team just presented it to the Lee-Davis softball team, and we're going to put a portion of that ceremony on Twitter right now at Hanover Sports. So you will have an opportunity to see it for yourself. It has been a very trying and difficult week here in Hanover County. We're going to have special ceremonies here between the softball, baseball, and soccer games. They're going to stop the girls' soccer game here in just a moment.
But triple if they kind of hold off for a couple minutes, so soccer will be at halftime.
What we're just getting word, they are waiting.
Like 3 minutes.
They got about 3 minutes until girls' soccer goes to the half. And they are going to take that opportunity rather than interrupt the game to allow the game to get to intermission behind us. That's girls varsity soccer. And then at that time, we will begin special ceremonies here at softball, soccer behind us, baseball on the other side. Principal Charles Stevens will preside over ceremonies at baseball in just a few moments. There will be a moment of silence for both Lee-Davis senior Dylan Ballard. Dylan was laid to rest this afternoon in Sandston at Washington Memorial Park in a service that was unbelievably moving and a service to where it seemed like all of Mechanicsville were present. Cars, an endless sea of them, filling the graveside. Hundreds of people in attendance. The football team there in their uniforms in support of Dylan one final time. As at the end of the ceremony, they asked the football team to block once more and carry Dylan across the goal line one final time. It was an unbelievably emotional afternoon. And our condolences from the RVA Sports Network, first to the Ballard family, to the Hinton family, graduate Elliot Hinton, just shy of his 23rd birthday, which means he was only a year and a couple of days younger than my own son, who turns 24 today. We mourn their loss. We mourn the hole that is in this community right now, and we ask you to keep every one of these kids at Lee-Davis High School, as well as their faculty, their staff, their administration, in your thoughts and in your prayers, as the days will go on, and there will be good days and there will be tough days. And everyone will have their ebbs and flows and their ups and downs. But I can dare say that there will probably be no student at Lee-Davis High School that will soon forget the events of this past week, who will forget what has happened, certainly will never forget Dylan and the impact that he has left on this community, both this high school and Mechanicsville itself, how the schools in the county have come together on social media and in person for support. We have great rivalries in Hanover County. Of that, there is no doubt, and maybe none better other than football than here in softball. Some of the best softball in the Commonwealth of Virginia is found right here in this suburban county just north of Richmond, Virginia. But when times are tough, they come together no matter what. And it's been stirring, and it's been an honor to watch these young people, our next generation, show just what it means to love, support, care for, and come together with each other and for each other during a difficult time. And I have a lot more faith in the next generation, and I had a lot to begin with before the events of last Saturday night. I have even a lot more now, thanks to what we have seen. I'm just very sorry we had to go through what we did in order to see it. Athletic Director Trip Metzger communicating with us here in the softball tower and with soccer and with football as well. They're doing a tremendous job putting all of this together. Lee-Davis Atlee girls soccer will come to the half in just a moment. If you're just joining us, we're live here in the softball tower getting ready for the rematch between number 1 and number 2. Number 2 Atlee, number 1 Lee-Davis. And we will start it just as soon as we conclude our pregame ceremonies, remembering the life of Dylan Ballard. Lee-Davis is 11-0 on the season. Atlee comes in at 13-1. They've only got, after tonight, 5 regular season games scheduled. And so they're going to be going into the home stretch of their regular season here in the last 2+ weeks. There's 2 full weeks of regular season action remaining. The week of the 16th, conference tournaments can begin. Conference 16 is getting underway earlier than the Richmond area ones. Conference 11 tournament for Lee-Davis gets underway Saturday the 21st. They'll have quarterfinals at Deep Run, and Lee-Davis, of course, right now in the mix to have a bye into the semifinals. Semis and championships will be on the 24th and the 26th of May. We're going to get the starting lineups for both teams being introduced right now. And let's go ahead and give you that as we have just a moment. For the Atlee Raiders, again at 13-1, Kelly Warren, their center fielder, will lead off. Batting second in second base is Jordan Durbin. Batting third, the catcher, Rain Wilson. In the 4th spot, your cleanup hitter, shortstop Casey Barrett. Batting fifth on the mound in the circle, number 9, Peyton St. George. Mallory Fadil, first baseman, bats 6th. Aaron O'Flaherty, the right fielder, will bat 7th. Amanda Bohannon is your designated player tonight. She had a big game offensively against King William earlier this week, and she'll bat 8th. Riley Satterwhite is the left fielder. She'll bat 9th. And your flex player at third base is Victoria Bernardini. Taylor Sandiford, who played in the first game, out due to a hand injury. Atlee hoping to get her back very, very soon. Your starting lineup for the number 1 ranked undefeated Lee-Davis Confederates. Batting first in left field is Sydney Guess. Batting second at shortstop, moving up in the lineup, is Ella Alvis. Batting third, the designated player, Jesse Gentry. Batting fourth, cleanup hitter, right fielder, Logan Hawker. Batting fifth tonight will be the first baseman, E.B. Hudson. Batting sixth, the third baseman, Austin Merrill. Batting seventh, the catcher, Brooke Martin. And batting eighth will be the shortstop, Haley Wagner. Rounding it out, the number 9 hitter, center fielder, Heather Childress. And, of course, in the circle tonight, starting for the Confederates, the senior, Kylie Stonebreaker. Kylie and Peyton put on a show for the ages 3 weeks ago tonight in that 2-0 9-inning thriller when the then number 2 ranked Lee-Davis Confederates came to Atlee and beat the then number 1 Atlee Raiders. They switched positions that following Sunday, April 10th, in the RBA Sports Network Top 10 poll, and they've stayed there the last 3 weeks. Atlee and Lee-Davis have been atop our poll in one way or another, either Lee-Davis, Atlee, or Atlee, Lee-Davis, since the poll began a couple of weeks into the regular season. Lee-Davis taking to the field.
In center field, number 18.
Baseball across the way is ready. We have hit halftime at girls soccer. So in just a moment, we will begin the special ceremonies tonight to honor and remember Dylan Ballard from the class of 2016. Fans have been asked to look at the American flag, right field of the baseball field, so we all are turning around from our softball position. We should hear in a moment from Principal Charles Stevens, and then we will have our national anthem.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, we would like for you to please stand and direct your attention to the pitcher's mound where Lee-Davis High School's principal, Mr. Charles Stevens, would like to make an announcement.
Principal Charles Stevens now making his way out onto the baseball diamond. He will speak to the assembled here tonight at Lee-Davis High School.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charles Stevens, and I'm the very proud principal of Lee-Davis High School. Words cannot express the tremendous grief our community has experienced over this tragedy this past weekend. As both a community and a school, we mourn the tragic loss of lives and injuries, and our deepest sympathies go out to their families and friends. But I also want to take this time to thank the entire Mechanicsville community for the tremendous support and compassion they have shown during this time. At this time, I would ask that you join all of us and join me in a moment of silence in memory of senior Dylan Ballard and 2011 graduate Elliot Hinton. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem by Lee-Davis Senior, Sloan Minor.
Sloan Minor will now present the Star-Spangled Banner. An absolutely incredible job on the national anthem from Sloan Minor, member of the class of 2016 here at Lee-Davis High School. We press on. We press forward as we should and as we need to. Baseball will begin in a moment. Soccer is at the half, and we are ready for number 1 versus number 2, the rematch in high school softball. Thanks for being with us, friends. Thank you for your patience as another part of the healing in this community happens here tonight. Usual bitter rivals coming together in a time of grief and a time of loss in this Mechanicsville community. Hugs all around, words of support. And now it's time for competition. The Confederates have taken the field, the Raiders have bats in hand, and we are ready for action.
Number 3, Kylie Stonebreaker.
Take a moment to let everybody know what's happening on Twitter, following us at Hanover Sports tonight. We are set and ready. We've also got our eyes down to the southwest as both Randolph-Macon baseball and softball in action in the ODAC tournament. Softball team has defeated Randolph 6-0, and they're going to face either top seed Virginia Wesleyan or number 5 Roanoke. Whoever loses that game tonight, it'll be an elimination game for Randolph-Macon tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. in Salem. The baseball team in action right now. We're underway. First pitch to Warren is a called strike for Stonebreaker. And the rematch has begun. Stonebreaker ready in the next delivery. Tip foul back here to the screen. The count quickly 0-2 to the speedy, very dangerous on the bases, Kelly Warren. It is Warren, Durbin, Wilson due up here top of inning 1. 0-2 pitch outside, misses, and it'll be 1-2 to Kelly. The Raiders at 13-1 on the season. Stonebreaker ready. Here comes the 1-2. Fly ball, center field. Childress is right where she needs to be, playing somewhat shallow, and makes the grab for the first out of the top of the first inning. That'll bring up the second baseman, Jordan Durbin.
Now batting second baseman, number 5, Jordan Durbin.
Lee-Davis and Atlee baseball about to get started. One out here, top of the first. First pitch, swinging a foul, back, and goes just over the dog with the Hanover County Sheriff's Office officials who are right behind us and onto the softball field, soccer field, I should say, and they'll grab that before they start the second half. 0-1 pitch, inside corner for strike 2, and Stonebreaker ahead again, 0-2. Key tonight for both her and St. George, getting ahead in the count. 0-2 pitch coming. Fly ball, shallow right field. Second baseman Alvis will go back, and she will make the grab for the second out of the top of the first inning.
Now batting the catcher, number 14, Rain Wilson.
That'll bring up the senior and arguably the leader of this Atlee softball team, 4-year starter, Rain Wilson. Steps in. First pitch inside for ball 1. Rain originally was going to go to George Washington, changed her mind, and has signed with one of the top 10 teams in the country right now and all year long in NCAA softball, the James Madison Dukes. This time Stonebreaker gets her on the inside corner, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Rain always in conversation when she is on the field, talking with the umpire between each pitch here. 1-1 count. Swinging a foul, kind of a fister behind the Lee-Davis dugout. Out of play, and Stonebreaker ahead of the count, 1-2. Top of the first, nobody on, 2 down. Number 2 Atlee, number 1 Lee-Davis. The 1-2. Line toward left field, and just over the extended glove of Austin Merrill into left for a base hit. And Rain Wilson gets tonight's first base hit. It's a single to left with 2 down. And that'll bring up Casey Barrett, the shortstop.
Now batting shortstop, number 7, Casey Barrett.
Another great player for Atlee, and another in-state stay as she has verbally committed. She's a junior. She's verbally committed to go to Virginia Tech. First pitch. High. Martin's going to throw back to first, and Wilson will get back safely. It was a play just like that by Brooke on Monday and at Prince George that was huge in them sealing their 4-0 victory over the number 4 team in our poll. Next pitch inside, and for the first time tonight, Stonebreaker behind in the count. Barrett with the advantage at 2-0. Fans still piling in here at Lee-Davis High School. The 2-0 pitch. High. And it's 3-0, and Stonebreaker really not interested in giving anything that Barrett could drive into the gaps or down the line for extra bases. Peyton St. George waiting. That one's a bit high, but in the strike zone. And the count's 3-1. Pick your poison. You want to pitch to Casey or to Peyton? 3-1 pitch. That's in there for strike 2. Martin throws to first, and Wilson slides back in safely. And the payoff pitch is coming. Wilson at first, 2 out. Top 1, scoreless. Stonebreaker delivers. Foul back to the screen, and we'll try it again at 3-2. Stonebreaker toes the rubber. Barrett is ready. 3-2 pitch. Foul back behind us. And onto the track and out of play. And we'll try it one more time. And again, should the inning continue, Peyton St. George on deck. Barrett is ready. Stonebreaker is ready. And here comes another 3-2. Fly ball. Right field. Hawker is under it and makes the catch for the third out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. And after a half inning of play here tonight on the Game of the Week, we are scoreless. A quick tweet on Hanover Sports to let everybody know that we're in the bottom of the first now. It's a 2-out. Rain Wilson single is all that Atlee can muster off the Stonebreaker. And now it'll be Peyton St. George. Speaking of ACC schools, she is part of the first ever recruiting class of Duke University, who will debut softball in 2018. Peyton, a junior. She's verbally committed to that new program. And if she sticks with that, she'll be signing most likely either next November or February.
St. George.
We can report over at baseball that they have gone to the bottom of the first inning. Atlee left a pair, and there is no score as Lee-Davis comes to bat. We can barely see the new baseball scoreboard from the angle here on the softball tower. So we'll keep you posted as best as we can. Due up for Lee-Davis, it'll be Guess. Number 2 order tonight, Alvis moved up in the lineup, and Gentry. And Ella wearing number 17 tonight. Lee-Davis debuting some new uniforms tonight with pinstripes. And I'm not sure if maybe they forgot to order one with the number 7 on it. So Ella is sporting number 17. Instead, she's on deck. Guess in the box, first pitch. Lined into left field over Barrett's head. It'll be a base hit. And Guess with a leadoff single to left field on the very first pitch from St. George.
Now batting second baseman, number 17, Ella Alvis.
That'll bring up Alvis, and we'll wonder if Coach Davis puts on the bunt sign here. Alvis and Childress basically switching in the lineup. Here comes the bunt. Beautiful one. Third baseman gets it. Bernardini makes the play. And Guess moves over to second base, and there's one out, but a runner in scoring position for Lee-Davis. For Jesse Gentry. Alvis was either in the 7 or 8 hole Monday at Prince George. Childress was in the 2 spot. And Coach Davis, she's shakes up the lineup throughout the season. It's not been a straight 1 through 9 every game all year long. Ground ball to the first baseman. Fadil gets it, grabs it, checks second, goes to first. In time to retire Gentry with 2 out, and that brings up Hawker.
Now batting right fielder, number 9. Logan Hawker.
So 2 down, Guess at second, and Hawker, the right fielder, the batter. Atlee's runner was with 2 out. Lee-Davis gets the leadoff hitter on, bunts her over to second, trying to bring her home now with 2 out. First pitch from St. George. Lined into left center field, that's trouble, and that's going all the way to the wall. Here comes Sydney Guess, and it's 1-0, number 1 Lee-Davis. Logan Hawker smacks a shot all the way to the left center field wall. Guess easily scores, and it's 1-0 Confederates.
Now batting first baseman, number 8, E.B. Hudson.
Hudson to the plate, your first baseman, with 2 out, and now Hawker at second. First pitch from Peyton, fouled back to the fence at the soccer field, and that's strike 1. And I believe that's the first ball that did not go in play in this inning. It's been first pitch hit every time. 0-1 fouled back here to the screen, and Hudson down 0-2. St. George fires, misses outside, and the count is 1-2 as Hudson shows discipline and doesn't take that bait. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Atlee trying to get out of the inning, just down 1. Ground ball toward third. Bernardini gets it, grabs it, throws it to first, and a very nice play by Victoria Bernardini there at third because it was a slow roller. And Barrett, had she come up and gotten it, may not have had enough time to get Hudson at first. We're done through 1 here tonight on the Game of the Week. It is Lee-Davis 1 and Atlee nothing. It took us 9 innings to get a run 3 weeks ago. Tonight, we get a run in the first inning. So there won't be a scoreless game into the 9th. That much we know. Congratulations to Midlothian girls lacrosse. They get a 22-3 win over Monacan tonight. Also in lacrosse, Atlee boys went to St. Christopher's today. That's a huge battle. And the Raiders fell. Final score, St. Christopher's 11 and Atlee 4. Our big thanks to Betty Sanfilippo on Twitter, who keeps us updated on Atlee boys lacrosse, for our fans who follow us on Hanover Sports on Twitter. And a big welcome to all of you who are listening across the area and wherever you may be tonight, live on the RVA Sports Network. I know we have some Hanover and some Patrick Henry fans who may be tuning in tonight due to the fact that their game was postponed and rescheduled for Wednesday, which means we hope to be up in Ashland Wednesday afternoon. First pitch from Stonebreaker to Peyton St. George is just outside for ball 1, and inning number 2 is underway here on RBASN. Next delivery, fouled back to the screen. We're even at 1 ball and 1 strike. We have a new broadcast just added this morning for this Tuesday, Lord willing and weather permitting, and we will tell you about it in the half-inning break. Here comes the 1-1 to Peyton. Swing and a miss, and Stonebreaker's ahead 1-2. Between the two pitchers, I think we had somewhere between 24 and 26 strikeouts in game 1 3 weeks ago. We've yet to have a first one tonight. Is it here? Got it on the outside corner, and St. George goes down. First strikeout of the night and first out of the second inning. That'll bring up Mallory Fidel.
Now batting first baseman number 4, Mallory Fidel.
Coach Davis sending out defensive signals over here at the third base corner, and now she steps back into the dugout. 1 out, nobody on. First pitch. Check swing high, ball 1 to the first baseman, Mallory Fidel. O'Flaherty, the right fielder, is on deck. 1 out, nobody on. Fouled back here to the screen, hits the pole, bounces back to the Lee-Davis dugout. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike. Stonebreaker ready, swing and a miss. Fidel down to the count 1-2. Stonebreaker ready, the 1-2 pitch coming. Fouled back, off the fence. We'll try it again at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Next Friday night, rivalry night number 5 of 6 on Fridays. Lee-Davis goes to Patrick Henry. The Raiders will host the Hawks of Hanover. Ground ball to the first baseman. Hudson gets it 3 steps to first, and Fidel is retired for the second out of top of the second inning, and that'll bring up O'Flaherty. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for Atlee. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for Lee-Davis. First pitch to O'Flaherty is low for ball 1.
Now batting right fielder number 6, Aaron O'Flaherty.
And again, second and possibly final time these two powers face. Next pitch high, and it's 2-0 now. With Atlee moving over to 5A North Region with Patrick Henry in Conference 16. 2-0 pitch, tipped foul back to the screen, 2-1 the count. Atlee and Lee-Davis will not see each other in the conference tournament, cannot see each other in the region tournament. If they see each other in the postseason, it will be in June in Fairfax. 2-1 pitch. Fouled. Right side off the fence, and we're even at 2-2. Fantastic crowd on hand tonight, not just here at softball, lining the fields, but over at baseball and at soccer as well. Great community support on an important night. 2-2 pitch, line down the left field line. It is a fair ball. It'll go to the wall. O'Flaherty's got wheels, and she'll go easily into second base with a 2-out double. O'Flaherty flirts with the foul line and gets it on the right side, and a 2-out double puts her in scoring position.
Now batting designated player, number 16, Amanda Bohannon.
That's going to bring up Amanda Bohannon. First pitch, swing and a miss for strike one. Amanda had 2 big hits in Atlee's win over King William Wednesday. 0-1 swing and a miss, down quickly 0-2. Atlee's 13th win of the year. Peyton George had a no-no that afternoon up in King William. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Tipped foul back to the screen, and Amanda stays alive. Should the inning continue, Riley Satterwhite is on deck. O'Flaherty at second with 2 out after lining a beautiful double right down the left field line. 0-2 pitch coming. Check swing. Did she go? No. 1-2. Lee-Davis was ready to head to the dugout, thinking she had not checked her swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. Stonebreaker delivers. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 for Kylie Stonebreaker, and the Raiders will leave the runner at second. So O'Flaherty stranded at second base. It's 1-0 number 1 LD as they go to the bottom of the second inning. We mentioned a moment ago that we have a new game of the week to add to our schedule, and it is coming up on Tuesday afternoon. As my favorite band, the Moody Blues, would opine about. We're going to be live at Midlothian High School when the Cosby Titans come to Midlothian to take on the Trojans. Trojans had won 5 in a row before their loss to Monacan yesterday, 4-3. Cosby playing good baseball right now, too. And Tuesday afternoon, weather permitting, 4:30. We'll be live here on RBA Sports Network from Midlothian High School. It'll be Titans and Trojans. Hope you'll join us. So Cosby at Midlothian on Tuesday afternoon, I should say, of this coming week. Austin Merrill leads things off bottom 2. First pitch to her fouled back to the screen for strike 1. So far tonight, 2 left on base for the Raiders. Lee-Davis left 1 but got 1 home in the bottom of the first inning. St. George delivers the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a tap back to the screen, and Austin Merrill quickly down 0-2. Merrill, Martin, Wagner. Those are your 3 scheduled hitters here in the top of inning number 2. St. George is ready. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Merrill goes down swinging. First strikeout tonight for St. George, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the second.
Now batting the catcher, number 2, Brooke Martin.
And that'll bring up Brooke Martin. Very quiet, but very dangerous catcher and general of the defense for Lee-Davis. Slams it into right center field. Check that. Warren going to get it. Dives. Does she make the catch? Yes. Yes, she does. Kelly Warren showing her speed on the bases all the time, but tonight shows it defensively in the outfield. Slides to make the catch in right center, robbing Martin of a base hit.
Now batting shortstop, number
Beautiful catch by Warren. 2 down, nobody on, and that'll bring up Haley Wagner, the shortstop. First pitch into center field, again for Warren. This time much easier play, and she retires the side. We go to the 3rd inning here at Top 10 Softball on the Game of the Week. Number 1, Lee-Davis, 1. And number 2, Atlee, nothing. Nice inning defensively there by Kelly Warren. And the first strikeout of the night for Peyton St. George. 9-1-2 hitters coming up for Atlee here in the top of the 3rd inning, scheduled to be Satterwhite, Warren, and Durbin. And 9-1-2 for Atlee can be dangerous because Satterwhite has wheels at the bottom of the order as well. Atlee overall has very good team speed. Kelly at the top of the order. Jordan Durbin. Cleanup hitter Casey Barrett is good for speed and power. O'Flaherty, we saw her flying to get the stand-up double last inning. Riley Satterwhite, the left fielder, will start the top of the 3rd here at Lee-Davis High School. Stonebreaker ready. First pitch, inside and high for ball 1. Cloudy, overcast, cool, damp, but still a good night for softball. Stonebreaker ready, the 1-0. It's high, 2 balls and no strikes. There was one issue Kindly had in the Prince George win Monday. It was a bit of control. Occasionally the rise ball rises a bit much and too many times. We talked about it with Coach Davis afterwards. That one in there called strike 1, 2-1 the count now on Satterwhite. With Warren, the top of the order on deck. Nobody on, nobody out. Top 3. Atlee down 1-0 here at Lee-Davis. Here comes the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Make it 2-2 on Riley Satterwhite. They've gone to the 2nd inning over at baseball. I'll try to get you a score update in a moment. Swing and a miss, and Satterwhite goes down after being up in the count 2-0. 3 strikeouts for Stonebreaker. And to the top of the order we go with 1 away in the 3rd, and Kelly Warren.
Now batting number 3, Kelly Warren.
First pitch, Warren's going to try to butt her way on, but it drug it a little far. But the throw to first is below Alvis's glove, and she can't get it. And so a throwing error on Stonebreaker on what should have been kind of a pedestrian out. And we'll see if Atlee can take advantage.
Jordan Durbin.
So first error of the night on Lee-Davis. Durbin to the plate. It hits either the bat or it hits Durbin. Durbin's running to first. Umpires ask for time. And the home plate umpire is heading towards first base to talk to one of his compadres. We have 3 umps here tonight. So the question is, was it off her bat or was it off of her? Durbin headed to first automatically. Coach Davis is out to check things out. And the answer is no. It is not a hit by pitch. It will go down as a foul. Atlee coach Tom McIntyre coming in to talk about it now. Conversation complete. Coach Mack will head over to third base. It's still strange to see Tom and Atlee blue after him being here on the sideline watching his daughter Lauren pitch for 4 years here for Lee-Davis. She's now having a great freshman year at Radford University. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Going to second. The throw not in time. Martin almost had it there. But Warren gets the stolen base. So Warren gets into scoring position. She's the tying run with one out here in the top of the third, and Lee-Davis up 1-0. Count is 0-2 on Durbin. Swing and a miss, and Durbin goes down. Fourth strikeout of the night for Stonebreaker as she chased the rise ball. Not a good idea.
Now batting number 14, Rain Wilson.
That'll bring up Rain Wilson, the catcher, who singled her first time up. First pitch hits her. Looks like almost in the helmet. Rain takes off the helmet. Did it go off of the bat? If it went off of the bat. And now they're saying that it went off of Brooks' glove. Man, it looked like it hit her helmet. Holy cow, that was close. 1-0 the count after all is said and done. Wilson back in the box, 1-0 pitch. That one hits her. And Rain is not very happy about it as she throws the bat toward the Atlee dugout. Coach Davis is going to come out, talk to the home plate umpire. Coach McIntyre and his assistant are both looking. I know emotions are high here tonight. There's no surprise with that. Coach Davis is going to head to the circle and talk with Stonebreaker and her defense. Certainly nothing malicious for Kylie on that. She's just trying to pitch Wilson inside, which is what she did in the first at-bat. Wilson won that one with the single. So Wilson is hit by the pitch, and we've got runners at first and third as Warren advanced on the 1-0 pitch. And Casey Barrett's going to come to the plate as Coach Davis finishes up her conversation in the circle. First and third with 2 out. First pitch is high for ball 1. Stonebreaker ready. Here comes the 1-0. High. 2 balls and no strikes. If Barrett gets aboard on the walk, bases will be loaded for St. George, who struck out her first time up. That one misses outside, and it's 3-0 to Casey Barrett. And again, Stonebreaker showing great respect to Casey and not giving her much to hit at all. Three-0. Misses. Ball 4. Bases loaded. And Peyton St. George comes to the plate with a huge opportunity here.
Now batting number 9, Peyton St. George.
Peyton can help herself right now. Base hit ties it. Could take the lead. First pitch right down the pike for strike 1. Stonebreaker ahead 0-1. Bases loaded, 2 out, top 3. Next pitch high. St. George thought about going for it. Held back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stonebreaker pitch high, 2-1. Nowhere to put St. George. A walk ties the game. And the count at 2-1. Next pitch, swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Stonebreaker a strike away from getting out of a huge third inning jam. An error, a hit by pitch, and a walk. No hits so far. 2-2. Pop foul, and it's going to go out of play behind the Lee-Davis faithful. 2-2 remains the count. Stonebreaker ready. Here it comes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that inning was completely all around Kylie Stonebreaker as she gets 3 strikeouts to get out of a bases-loaded jam. And after 2.5 tonight, it is still number 1, Lee-Davis 1, and number 2, Atlee, nothing.
Don't forget to visit concession stand and help support the Lee-Davis Athletic Boosters. And also cross concession where they have variety of food as well. Funnel cakes, fried Oreos, fried Twinkies, and cotton candy. York and high schools across the country are teaming up to support extracurricular activities and programs for local schools.
All right, we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Atlee sees a huge opportunity slip away. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Stonebreaker, but there was also a walk, a hit by pitch, and an error where Warren tried to bunt her way on. The bunt was pushed to Stonebreaker pretty quickly, but Kylie's throw to Ella Alvis covering at first was low, and Alvis couldn't get to it. And that's what started everything. But Atlee could not convert. So the Raiders have had 12 innings of softball so far this season against their arch rival, and they've yet to score a run on Kylie Stonebreaker. And we will go to the bottom of the 3rd, Lee-Davis with the 1-0 lead. Heather Childress has a new number tonight, too. Usually she's number 5. Tonight she is number 18. And the number 9 hitter will lead things off here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Now batting for Lee-Davis, the center fielder, number 18, Heather Childress.
It'll be Childress, yes, Alvis for Lee-Davis here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. St. George is ready. First pitch coming. Fly ball, well hit, right center field. Could be trouble. Warren goes, and it goes off of her glove. Round in second, heading for 3rd, and she'll be in at 3rd base. Heather Childress triples to right center to lead off the bottom of the 3rd inning. That'll bring up top of the order in Sydney Guess.
Now batting number 13, Sydney Guess.
Give Kelly Warren all the credit in the world. She used her speed, closed it down, got to the gap, threw the glove up in the air, and it goes off the top of the glove. Great try, but a better hit. And Childress is at 3rd with the triple. First pitch to Guess, check swing, she did go. It's 0-1 on the leadoff hitter. Lee-Davis trying to add to their 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. St. George ready. Fires. Beautiful outside corner pitch, and it's 0-2 quickly on Guess, who singled on the first pitch of the bottom of the 1st inning, and Slater scored in that inning as well. 0-2. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Alvis is on deck. Childress at 3rd after tripling to right center to kick off this 3rd inning. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Guess goes down. 1 away, and the 2nd strikeout of the night for Peyton St. George, and that'll bring up the 2nd baseman, Ella Alvis.
Now batting number 17, Ella Alvis.
Alvis ready. First pitch coming. Check swing. Did she go? Yes, she did. Strike 1, says the first base umpire. Lee-Davis fans don't like it, but it looked like she went around. 0-1 the count. The fan of the person in the box never likes it when they ring them up like that. 0-1 pitch. High, and we're even at 1 ball and 1 strike. To Ella Alvis, the 2nd baseman. Gentry, tonight's DP, on deck for number 1 Lee-Davis. Up 1-0, bottom of the 3rd, here on the Game of the Week on the RBA Sports Network. 1-1 pitch. Inside, gets behind Wilson. Coming home. Scoring, yes. is Heather Childress on the wild pitch. 2-0 Lee-Davis. So the pitch gets away from Wilson. That doesn't happen very often. And Childress takes full advantage, racing the 60 feet to home. Next pitch outside. That one goes off of Wilson's glove here to the backstop. Nobody on now. And the count at 3-1 strike. And Rain's going to go out and have a conversation with Peyton St. George. $2-0 Lee-Davis. Wilson continues to have the conversation with St. George. Wilson's returned, and we're ready. 3-1 count. And now the pitch. Fouled over to the soccer field, I should say, as the goalie makes a nice play over there. And the count's full at 3-2. 2-0, nobody on, 1 out, 1 in this inning. That one's inside on the corner for strike 3. And St. George gets her 3rd strikeout of the night. 2 out.
Number 11, Jesse Gentry.
Nobody on, and Gentry to the plate. Jesse grounded out to the first baseman back in inning number 1. First pitch. Strike at the knees. 0-1 the count. St. George ahead of Gentry. Next pitch. Fouled here toward the Atlee fans on the first base side. Somebody gets a souvenir, but we'll return it for further play. We're not a multi-billion-dollar corporation like the New York Yankees, so we can't let the fans keep the softballs. Here comes the 0-2. High. 1-2 the count. Think he'll try to keep the softball? I don't know. Here comes the 1-2, fouled. Low pitch, and Gentry gets a piece of it back to the backstop, and we'll stay at 1-2 strikes. And there we go. The softball is now returning. Mom throws it to daughter Rain, who hands it to the umpire. 1-2 strikes, 2 outs. St. George looking for another K. Here it comes. That one's lined into center. One hopper to Warren. And the off-speed pitch doesn't fool Gentry. She gets a 2-out single to center. Nice job there by Jesse to be patient on that pitch.
Now batting number 9, Logan Hawker.
And now it's Logan Hawker who doubled the left center and scored Sydney Guess with that first run back in the first inning. She's got another runner on base this time around. Ground ball towards second. It'll be to Barrett on the left side. She'll step on second to get the force and to end the inning. Here on the game of the week. And your score, number 1, Lee-Davis with the lead at 2-0. We have a baseball update. Cole Blackman has hit a solo home run to cut Lee-Davis's lead to 2-1. Remember, those two 3 weeks ago also went 9 innings before Atlee got the walk-off win. Final score that night was 5-4. That was a crazy night 3 weeks ago. We go to the 4th here at softball. Rob Witham along with you here on the game of the week. Next broadcast Tuesday afternoon, weather permitting, live at Midlothian. We'll be outdoors. Hopefully they'll spray for bees. Spent the afternoon the other day watching Midlothian and Clover Hill with Grant Fuller's dad. Grant plays for Midlothian, and man, we had to dodge so many bees it wasn't funny. First pitch to Fadil is high for ball one. So Cosby Midlothian, Tuesday, 4:30 is our airtime. Join us 4:30 Tuesday here on the RBA Sports Network. Foul out of play. Some fans walking from the concession stand, duck out of the way. And the count's even at 1-1 to the leadoff hitter, Mallory Fadil. 1-1 pitch, shows bunt, lays it down nicely. Merrill gets to it, throws it, got her. Oh, great gun there by Merrill to get it to Alvis covering a low throw, but Ella got it. Didn't have to hit the dirt that time, and there's one out here in the top of the fourth inning.
Now batting number 6, Aaron O'Flaherty.
First pitch to O'Flaherty's in the dirt for ball one. Second pitch to Aaron. She's going to line it into left field for her second hit of the night. She doubled to left, right on the left field line the first at-bat. She slams that one between third and short, and Aaron O'Flaherty is 2 for 2 tonight.
Now batting number 16, Amanda Bohannon.
That's going to bring up Amanda Bohannon. Lee-Davis just got 2 runs to up their lead to 4 run at 1, I should say, in baseball in the bottom of the third. And the count here on Bohannon is 1-0 with O'Flaherty at first. Foul tip off of Brooke Martin's mask. And we're even at 1 ball and 1 strike. One on Bohannon. O'Flaherty at first. Atlee down 2-0. Popped it up. Stonebreaker calls everyone off. She'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. So 2 out, 1 on for Riley Satterwhite.
Now batting number 13, Riley Satterwhite.
Lee-Davis in the county situation has 3 games left on their schedule. First pitch to Riley is high for ball one. You'll recall last Friday night, the Lee-Davis and Hanover games were all rained out. Moved to the end of the regular season on May 17th. We didn't have our game of the week on Friday night. We're going to do the baseball game. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-1, throw to first. Aaron is back safely. So Lee-Davis and Hanover baseball and softball are going to play each other twice within 5 days. Here at Lee-Davis on the 13th. Satterwhite shows bunt down the first base line. The throw is over the head of the first baseman. Headed to third, O'Flaherty. Throw is there. Did they get her? We're waiting for a call. Lee-Davis thinks it's over. Okay. Third out. Crazy play. Bunt down the first baseline. First baseman throws it over the head of the second baseman covering. They go to get O'Flaherty at third, but in the end, the home plate umpire says the tag was made on the runner headed to first. It looked like she avoided it. But that's the call, third out. The play to O'Flaherty doesn't matter. And Lee-Davis will come to the plate, bottom 4, up 2-0. And Atlee with another missed opportunity with runners on base. Remember, for several years, Atlee came annually here to Lee-Davis, and something would happen. They'd get a lead, and then they'd lose it late. They would choke defensively. They'd have problems one way or the other. And then a couple of years back, they finally broke through and got a win here on the road at Lee-Davis. Tonight, it's been a matter of Lee-Davis taking advantage and Some good offense. The run in the first, and then Childress's triple in the third, as Hudson takes a strike one to lead off the fourth. Next pitch to EB. Strike on the outside corner. 0-2 the count on EB Hudson. Merrill, I believe, on deck. 0-2 pitch. Ground ball foul just down the first base line. Fadil picks it up on the right side of the line, and we'll try it again at 0-2. Wilson with some instructions to Fadil at first. We're ready. St. George is ready, and here it comes. Ground ball to the third baseman. Bernardini grabs it, throw to first in time, and there's one out here in the bottom of inning number 4. That'll bring up the third baseman for Lee-Davis, Austin Merrill, who struck out in her first at-bat back in the second inning.
Now batting number 14, Austin Merrill.
We hope to add at least one more broadcast to our Game of the Week schedule before the end of the regular season. We'll be working on that hopefully early next week. First pitch to Merrill, swing and a miss for strike one. Tomorrow I have the honor of officiating a wedding ceremony over at the University of Richmond. And then Sunday, got to head to Longwood one final time this year. Next pitch high, 1-1. As we'll take my daughter back so she can take exams and then come home next Friday for the summer. Those of you who are parents that are empty nesters will understand what we're talking about. 1-1 pitch. Inside, 2-1 the count to Merrill. And I oft mentioned this a moment ago, and I'll mention it again here in just a second. A personal wish here. 2-1 pitch. Gets the corner for strike two. We're even at 2-2 on Austin Merrill. One out, nobody on. Bottom 4. Lee-Davis leading Atlee 2-0. St. George looking for strikeout number 4 tonight. Pitch, ground ball, one hopper to second. Durbin handles it. The throw to first, and there are 2 out here in the 4th inning. And that'll bring up the catcher, Logan Martin. Brooke Martin. Sorry about that.
Now batting the catcher, number 2, Brooke Martin.
Brooke to the plate, and a happy birthday wish to my son, who turns 24 years old today. Impossible to believe it's been that long. First pitch misses low. It's across the plate, but it's ball 1. Ground to third, ground to second so far in this 4th inning. St. George trying to get out cleanly. 1-0 pitch, also low, and 2 balls, no strikes the count now on Martin. Should the inning continue, the shortstop Haley Wagner patiently awaits on deck. The 2-0. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 1 strike to Brooke Martin. With no one on for for Lee-Davis here in the 4th inning. Haven't had a 1-2-3 inning except the bottom of the 2nd tonight. That one's fouled to the Atlee dugout. We're even at 2-2. Atlee has had runners on base in every inning. Lee-Davis in 2 of their first 3. The difference is in those 2 innings, they've plated 1 each. 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd. St. George is ready. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Martin. Off speed, and it goes just over the head of the first baseman. Base hit. Throw it to first by the right fielder, and they got her. The throw from right field, O'Flaherty fires it to Fodil, and it's going to go out as one of the rare ground out to right fields.
Raiders 0.
They go down in order in the 4th inning. We will go to the 5th, number 1 and number 2. With number 1 leading here, score 2-0. So since I can turn around and look at a football field, let me just remind you that 17 weeks from tonight is the start of the 2016 high school football season. And we will begin our 15th anniversary year of live high school football broadcasts, both here on the RVA Sports Network and on WHAN Radio. August 26th, mark your calendar. Our first two broadcasts will be online exclusives, and September 2nd, we'll hit the air for our first game of the 2016 football season. Now, we'll worry about getting that schedule ready probably in June. Our focus right now fully is on spring sports, including the number 1 versus number 2 softball battle we have here right in front of us.
Number 3, Kelly Warren.
To the 5th inning. And the Raiders of Atlee down 2-0 to number 1 Lee-Davis. First pitch to Warren is at the knees and right down the middle for strike 1. 2-0 and 9. Lee-Davis won at Atlee 3 weeks ago. Next pitch, swing and a miss, and Warren is quickly down 0-2. Next pitch fouled down the left field line, but playable, and Guess will make an underhanded grab. Very nicely, I might add, for the first out of the top of the 5th inning.
Now batting number 5, Jordan Durbin.
Durbin to the plate. First pitch to Jordan is popped foul, and it's going to be back behind us and out of play. Lee-Davis, after 3 innings now at baseball with a 4-1 lead. Oh, 1 pitch, showing bunt, and it's going to go foul. And it'll be quickly 0-2 on Durbin. Oh, 2 pitch. A bit high and outside for 1-2. Wilson is on deck. 1 out, top of the 5th, nobody on. 1-2. Foul, out of play behind us. Hits the fence in front of the soccer field. One ball, 2 strikes. The pitch into left field, playable for Guess, and she'll make the catch again, this time in fair territory for the 2nd out of the inning. 2 down, nobody on for Rain Wilson.
Now batting number 14, Rain Wilson.
Wilson has reached base twice tonight on a single and on a hit-by pitch. First pitch is high for ball 1. Should the inning continue, Barrett on deck. Next pitch high, and it's 2-0 to Rain Wilson. Trying to get something going for the Raiders. Inside, low, 3-0. Stonebreaker hasn't thrown much to Barrett when she's been up both times tonight. 3-0 pitch is high for ball 4, and Rain Wilson will get the 2-out walk. Two out.
7, Casey Barrett.
Wilson at first, and Barrett to the plate, representing the tying run in a 2-0 game. First pitch is high for ball 1. Martin feigns throwing to first and returns the ball to Stonebreaker in the circle. 1-0 pitch on the inside corner for strike one. 1-1 to Casey Barrett with Rain Wilson at first, asking for time to tie her shoe. Atlee attempting to try to get something going here. Again, they've now gone 13 2/3 innings without scoring a run on Kylie Stonebreaker. 9 3 weeks ago, and 4 2/3 at this moment here. Barrett is ready. The 1-1. In there for strike two. Martin throw to first. Wilson back easily. But now Stonebreaker holds the advantage at 1-2 strikes. Barrett with a big sigh gets back in the box and is ready. The 1-2. High, 2 strikes. Stonebreaker more aggressive to Casey Barrett in this particular at-bat. Not pitching around her, going after her for the first time. St. George awaits if Barrett can extend the inning. Lee-Davis trying to get out of it, preserving the 2-0 lead. The pitch, high, and we go full at 3-2. Barrett is ready. Steps in. Here we go. Low. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks. And it's first and second with 2 out for Peyton St. George, who came up earlier tonight with the bases loaded and could not convert. Now she's got 2 on, and she represents the go-ahead run.
Peyton St. George.
See Atlee principal Dr. John Wheeler here in attendance tonight. Huge night here in Mechanicsville. First pitch line down the left field line, but foul and out of play. St. George likes that inside pitch, and she can take it for a ride. We've seen her do it many times. That one she got around a little too quick and sent it into the crowd. And the count's 0-1. First and second, 2 out. Fouled this time behind the third base side. And it hits the back of a fan who was in the middle of a conversation. And he just kind of turned around to go, was that a flea? And continues his talk. And St. George is down 0-2. When she was up in the third with the bases loaded, she struck out. 0-2 pitch. Popped it up. It is going to go out of play, right behind us. And the count stays at 0-2. Great crowd here tonight. Fantastic. Ready for the 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2. Wilson trying to turn around and get back to second. Slipped for a moment. Martin had been looking a little closer. She might have gone for it, but nobody had broken to the bag at second base. 1-2 pitch. Popped it up. Who's going to call for it? No, boy. Stonebreaker thought she heard Wagner call her off, and then suddenly realized that nobody was going to get the ball, and at the last second, Stonebreaker makes the catch in the circle for the third out of the inning. That was close. Almost disaster for Lee-Davis, but instead we'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Atlee tonight has left 8 runners on base. And we go bottom 5 with Lee-Davis holding the lead at 2-0. Let's go to the bottom of the fifth, shall we? Rob Witham along with you here on the Game of the Week on the RBA Sports Network.
Now batting for the Lee-Davis Confederates, number 15, Haley Wagner.
It'll be 8-9-2. 8-9-1, excuse me, here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Haley Wagner, the shortstop, up. First pitch hits the outside corner for strike one. And we made it through the fifth, and we're going to break out the jacket here. Just a hair on the chilly side. 0-1 pitch. Line towards second. Durbin with a nice grab. Making the play on the liner, saving the base hit, and there's one out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Nice play by Jordan.
Now batting number 18, Heather Childress.
That'll bring up Childress, who had the triple in the gap in right center, and then scored on a wild pitch in the third to make it 2-0. First pitch inside corner for strike one. Yeah, getting out of the car, rushing in here to get ready for the broadcast. Debated. Take the jacket, don't take the jacket. We made the right choice. Now the 0-1 pitch. Misses outside. We're even at 1-1. We've already had a few hot ones, and we got a lot of hot days to go. I got a feeling, friends, it's going to be a long, hot summer. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Childress down 1-2. Why do I say that? I am no meteorologist, but history shows in Central Virginia, the summer after a winter where we have a major storm is usually hot as the dickens. And, of course, you remember the storm of January 22nd and 23rd. St. George misses outside, and we're even at 2-2. And now the Atlee fans want strike three, and it was definitely outside. We have a little bit of a better angle than they do. Atlee's fans off to our right, and Lee-Davis is to our left. 2-2 coming now from St. George. One out, nobody on. Fly ball, well hit in the left field. Going back for it, the left fielder Satterwhite, and she'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. Childress gave it a ride, but Satterwhite there for out number 2. 2 out and to the top of the order, and Sydney Guess.
Now batting number 13, Sydney Guess.
They're running late over at soccer. The boys' game just getting ready to get started. So they're going to be about an 8:15 start for boys' soccer tonight. First pitch, Guess, swinging all the way and missing at that one for strike one. She led off the offense for Lee-Davis with a single on the first pitch from St. George back in the first, and later scored on the Hawker double. 0-1 delivery. Hits the outside corner for strike two. St. George only has 2 strikeouts tonight. Can she make it 3 here? High, 1-2. Fourth inning of baseball, and Lee-Davis at last check up 4-1, and that may have changed, and we'll try to get that update for you as soon as we can. Send it on Hanover Sports on Twitter as well. 1-2 pitch. Fouled back to the screen, and Sydney stays alive at 1-2. Got to give props to one of the best DJs in the Richmond area with the music tonight here. Always a great selection at a Lee-Davis softball game. St. George ready. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. High. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. The pitch outside, and we go full at 3-2. Trying to get a runner on here in the bottom of the fifth. 2 out, nobody on. 3-2, swing and a miss, and Guess goes down, and that will end inning number 5. Third strikeout of the night for Peyton St. George.
Atlee Raiders 0, Lee-Davis Confederates 2.
And we go to the sixth. Here live on the RBA Sports Network with our score. Number 1, Lee-Davis 2, and number 2, Atlee nothing. Take a quick break, and we will be back in just a moment as the game of the week continues live and exclusively on the RBA Sports Network. It'll be Mallory Fadil to lead things off in the top of inning number 6. Rob Witham along with you live on the RBA Sports Network. Fadil, O'Flaherty, and Bohannon is scheduled here in the 6th. There may be a pinch hitter coming. We'll see. First pitch. Swing and a miss for Fadil. And Mallory even in the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Next pitch high. Fadil showed bunt briefly, brought it back, checked with the umpire. 2-1, says no, she didn't go. And Fadil ahead of the count here in the 6th. Swing, liner, foul, over by her principal. Here's a lesson. Never hit your principal with a foul ball. We're even at 2-2. The pitch to Fadil now. Fouled off. Right over to the Atlee dugout. And Bohannon does a nice job getting out of the way of that one. And we're still at 2-2. The pitch. Lined into center field. Childress racing to get it and will make the catch for the first out of the inning. Fadil retired on a nice hit to center, but it hung for a while, and it gave Heather enough time to make the play.
How about number 6, Aaron O'Flaherty?
1 out, top of the 6th for Aaron O'Flaherty. Nobody on. First pitch, tried to pull the string, doesn't come in. Stays high for ball 1. And we will have a pinch hitter coming up in the 3rd position of the 6th inning. Next pitch high, 2-0. That's Lakin Throckmorton on deck for Atlee. That's the DP position. 2-0 is low, and O'Flaherty ahead in the count. 3 balls and no strikes. Aaron singled back in the 4th and doubled in the 2nd. 2 for 2 tonight. 3-0 pitch is high for ball 4. And for the 3rd time tonight, O'Flaherty gets aboard, this time on a free pass, and it will be the pinch hitter, Lakin Throckmorton.
Now batting, pinch hitter number 12, Lakin Throckmorton.
O'Flaherty at first, 1 out. First pitch to Lakin is inside for ball 1. We've seen Lakin on several occasions already this campaign, including getting some good action against James River last week. 1-0 pitch. Goes for the high one and almost sticks it in the fence and keeps it here right in front of us. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike. What game were we at a few weeks ago where somebody hit a softball foul and it hit the fence and a baseball came out that had been lodged in the fence? I think it was over at James River. 1-1 pitch, again tipped back to the screen right in front of us, and I don't care how much fencing there is between me and that softball, I still flinch. And I'll admit it publicly. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. O'Flaherty at first with one out. Raiders down 2-0. Popped it up down the third base line, and Merrill could not quite get it in foul territory. And the count will stay at 1-2. Had a spin on it coming backwards, and Merrill just didn't have enough time to react from her position at third. 1-2 to Throckmorton. O'Flaherty at first. One out, the pitch. Holds inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lakin getting ready to go after that one, and then saw it coming towards her and didn't swing. We're even at 2-2. Stonebreaker ready. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Got her on the rise ball. That would have been 3-2 for sure. And for Stonebreaker tonight,
Now batting number 13, Riley Satterwhite.
that is strikeout number 6. That'll bring up Riley Satterwhite. First pitch fouled back here to the screen for strike 1. Atlee in danger of leaving 9 on base through 6 if O'Flaherty is stranded here for the 3rd time tonight. 0-1. Popped it up. First baseman Hudson in foul territory will make the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. And so another runner left on base for number 2, Atlee. 9 in total tonight. And we go bottom 6. Number 1, Lee-Davis 2. Number 2, Atlee nothing. Game of the week back in just a moment. Bottom of the 6th inning, we begin it with Ella Alvis. First pitch to the second baseman is on the outside corner, I should say, for strike number 1. A 1 pitch line right back over the head of St. George and into center field for a leadoff single for Alvis.
Now batting number 11, Jesse Gentry.
That'll bring up Gentry. As the Confederates look to extend the lead 2-0. Jesse showing bunt, gets out of the way. Ball 1, inside and low. And Lee-Davis trying to dig the hole a little deeper for Atlee in the 7th. St. George gets the signal. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Gentry that time, full swing, tipped it back here to the screen, even at 1-1. No sacrifice on that time. 1-1. The pitch coming, showing bunt again. That time does it. Bernardini gets it, throws it to Durbin covering for the out at first, and Alvis will move to second with 1 away. And that'll bring up Hawker with the RBI earlier back in inning number 1.
Now batting number 9, Logan Hawker.
I'll tell you, it's a little worried when I got the word that Taylor Sandiford would be out for a while with the hand injury, but Victoria Bernardini has credited defensively, has just played a whale of a game here tonight. And I still contend that the 3 toughest positions to play in softball Obviously, the pitcher. The mechanics of softball pitching amaze me. The catcher and the third baseman, because they have to have such incredible reaction time. Victoria's had a good night defensively. First pitch to Hawker. Strike one. Wilson that time a little deceptive behind the plate. She sets up outside, and the pitch comes right down the middle. Count is 0-1 on Logan Hawker, who again had the RBI double to score Guest to kick things off back in inning number 1. Alvis at second with one out. The pitch misses low. 1-1. I'm not sure Wilson wasn't meaning that throw back to the pitcher to go all the way to second base, and Peyton caught it. Interesting. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Tip foul, back to the screen. Hawker now down 1-2. E.B. Hudson is on deck. Lee-Davis is 10-0. Seems like they've played more than 10 games. Thank you, Lee. They're 11-0. I thought there had to be more than 10. Because I think I've seen 6. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Outside, and we miss 2-2. The throw to second. Alvis is back safely. And yeah, a couple of pitches ago, rain did mean for that to go back to second base, and Peyton just kind of snared it in midair. Atlee trying to make sure it's just a 2-run deficit when they come back for the 7th inning. And they'll have the top of the order to work with. Pop foul, and this one's going to be just off the screen. Wilson and Fadil both chase for it. And get to rub a little bit of fencing for their trouble. All right, timeout. We're done. 2-2 pitch coming. Did she check her swing? Yes, she did. We go full at 3-2. Rain thought she had strikeout, but it did not happen. Hudson.
Number 8, E.B. Hudson.
Oh, they did ring her up. They did ring her up for strike 3. A late call, but it's strike 3 and 2 out now. Hawker retired. First pitch to Hudson. Fly ball into center field. Warren under it, and she'll make the catch for the final out of the inning. We go to the 7th. Number 1, Lee-Davis 2. Number 2, Atlee, nothing. Last chance for the Raiders next on the RBA Sports Network. Baseball after 5. Lee-Davis up on Atlee 5-1. We go to the 7th inning. Rob Witham along with you live on the RBA Sports Network, and the first pitch to Kelly is strike 1. It's the top of the order for Atlee in the 7th. Warren showing bunt, gets it down nicely, but it's going to trail foul. Austin Merrill makes the decision to let it go, and it comes just across the fair foul line. 0-2 pitch coming. Outside for ball one. Some of the Hanover girls are here tonight checking out the game since they did not have their game at Patrick Henry. 1-2 pitch. Slapper towards short. Wagner has it. The throw gets her. Man, Warren is so fast. But a great job by Haley Wagner.
Now batting number 5, Jordan Durbin.
One out here in the 7th. Jordan Durbin to the plate. Check swing foul out of play behind the Atlee faithful to our right for strike one. Wilson, who's been on base all 3 times tonight, as has O'Flaherty, on deck. The Raiders in danger of being shut out twice by Kylie Stonebreaker. Not the dominant performance tonight. Next pitch misses low. 1-1. She and Peyton both had double-digit strikeouts in the game 3 weeks ago that went 9 innings. Tonight, a lot more balls in play for both teams. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball towards second. Can't quite get it. And gets into left center field for the base hit. And a 1-out single for Jordan Durbin.
Now batting number 14, Rain Wilson.
Wilson to the plate, representing the tying run. Popped it up. Martin looking for it. And she dropped it in fair territory. Durbin will race down to second, and she's safe. Oh, boy, that is a rare, unbelievably rare miscue by the catcher, Brooke Martin. And immediately, Lee-Davis head coach Jackie Davis heads to the circle to calm them down and to regroup them. And that's why you never quit on a play. Wilson makes it to first. Durbin hightails it to second. And Barrett is coming up. She's the go-ahead run.
Now batting number 7, Casey Barrett.
Did you expect anything else? Did you really think this game of the week would end with a whimper? First pitch high, ball one. Kylie's had a couple of times tonight, one more so than the other, with a little control issue. She certainly doesn't want that now. She's been very respectful of Casey. Next pitch high, 2-0. Fourth at bat for Barrett tonight. The first 2 times Kylie kind of danced around her. The third time she went after her. And this time she seems to be a bit more careful. And that's why down the middle, line into the right field, center field gap. 1 run is coming home. Wilson is coming home. And we're tied. It's a triple for Casey Barrett. And the game is tied at 2. And that's why you have to respect Casey at the bat. She sent one down the middle, and Casey just stroked it into right center field. Lee-Davis 2. Atlee 2, still 1 out, top of the 7th.
St. George.
And Peyton St. George at the plate. First pitch to Peyton, launched deep into center field. Childress going back. She'll make the catch, but tagging up and coming in is Casey Barrett. And the Raiders have got 3 in the 7th, and they take the 3-2 lead. It's hard to hit one out at Lee-Davis. I've seen very few clear that fence, but you didn't need it. You just needed it deep enough to bring the runner in.
Number 4, Mallory Fidel.
And with 2 out and nobody on, Mallory Fidel to the plate. Liner to Stonebreaker. 1 hop, throw to first. Side retired. It is 3-2. And suddenly, number 1 Lee-Davis sees their back against the wall for the first time this year. The Lee-Davis faithful to our left are in complete shock. The Atlee faithful, who were almost left for dead about 5 minutes ago, have come to life here to our right. And it's going to be up to the bottom half of the Lee-Davis order to try to at least get 1 run and keep this one going and send us into another extra inning thriller. It was 2-0 and 9 3 weeks ago. What will happen now? Bottom 7, Atlee 3, Lee-Davis 2. Merrill, Martin, Wagner.
For Lee-Davis, number 14, Austin Merrill.
And again, a daggone shame that these kids won't see each other again in the postseason unless both of them can survive through the region. And with all due respect to Patrick Henry, and yes, we do believe they have the talent to put on a run in the postseason. But just the way this year has gone, it would be special if these two ended up meeting in Fairfax in 6 weeks. First pitch to Merrill, swing and a miss, strike 1. St. George has not had her best stuff tonight. And Lee-Davis has taken her for a ride on a few occasions. Notably, Hawker's double in the first, Childress's triple in the third. Next pitch high, and we're even at 1-1. But if she could get her best stuff for 1 inning, the Raiders could return the favor and get the road win like the Confederates did 3 weeks ago. 1-1, swing and a miss, 1-2 the count. Coach Davis looks at Austin, points at her head. Think. The mental part of the game. 1-2. On the corner for strike 3. Beautiful pitch. 1 out.
Now batting number 2, Brooke Martin.
Here comes Brooke Martin. First pitch fouled down the right field line and out of play for strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch. High. 1 ball, 1 strike. Next pitch outside. And Martin will enjoy the advantage at 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on. Atlee gets 3 in the 7th. They're up by 1, trying to close it out. 2-1 pitch. Line back to St. George off of her glove, and it will dance into center field. Got to rule that one a hit. It was hit hard, and Peyton had to instantly react. She got a glove on it, just putting her arm up in the air. 1 out single for Martin, and the tying run is aboard. And we'll get a courtesy runner for the catcher? Yes, we will. And that'll be Jordan Taylor. Check that. They're putting, yep. That is Lauren Taylor into the game. Number 6.
Courtesy runner is number 6. Lauren Taylor.
So Lauren Taylor, number 6, is your courtesy runner for Martin. She's the tying run with 1 out.
Now batting Haley Wagner.
Wagner to the plate. First pitch fouled back. Just behind the Atlee faithful here to the right. Strike 1. Oh, 1 the count. Peyton ready. Next pitch, swing and a miss, and Wagner goes after the rise ball. 0-2. Taylor, the courtesy runner for Martin on first base. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Tap down the third base line, fair ball. Bernardini has it, throw to first. In time, Wagner retired. Runner gets to second. 2 out. And Heather Childress to the plate.
Now batting number 18, Heather Childress.
Somebody for Lee-Davis just cranked a home run at baseball. We'll try to find out who and let you know just as soon as possible. First pitch, outside for ball 1. If Atlee can get the third out, they will be 14-1. Lee-Davis would be 11-1. 1-0 pitch. Gets the outside corner for strike 1. Throw back to second. Durbin flying over to get it. Atlee needs to be thankful it didn't fly into center field. Taylor could have taken off for third base. With 2 out, Taylor's got to be on her horse no matter what happens. 1-1 pitch. Check swing. Childress goes 1-2. The Confederates are down to their last strike. They have not been in this position all year long. Closest game they had was last week, the 1-0 win over Manchester with the Childress inside the park homer in the 6th that broke a scoreless tie. Saved the other Atlee game in the 9th. The pitch, low. Those have been the 2 close calls for these Confederates. They survived in 9 at Atlee 3 weeks ago. Will Atlee counterpunch here? They're a strike away from returning the favor. 2-2 the count. Runner at second, 2 out. The pitch from St. George coming. High. We're full at 3-2. And if Childress can get aboard with a walk, Sydney Guess comes to the plate. And then the winning run would be aboard. The winning run currently trying to survive in the batter's box. The count is full. There are 2 out. And here comes the 3-2 pitch. Got her! Strike 3! And the Atlee Raiders complete the comeback. Your final score tonight, number 2 Atlee 3, number 1 Lee-Davis 2. Another unbelievable game between these 2 teams. Lee-Davis with 1 in the first, with 1 in the third. Atlee left 9 runners on base in the first 6 innings. And then they finally strike for 3 runs in the 7th. And then they're able to leave the tying run on second base on Peyton St. George's 6th strikeout of the night. What a game, as we expected. Heartiest congratulations to Atlee on the victory. Heartiest congratulations to Lee-Davis on a hard-fought game. These 2 teams should go deep and far in the 2016 postseason. And again, if they see each other one final time, it would be in Fairfax in June at either the state semis, or it is possible, depending on regional results and if these two teams could get through, and if Atlee has to knock off Patrick Henry and some others first, it could be first state championship. Patrick Henry would like to spoil that party. What a night here in Mechanicsville. It's been highly emotional. An unbelievable show of respect and sportsmanship from the Atlee Raiders. The banner presentation prior to the game tonight. The moment of silence and the great words from Principal Charles Stevens from Lee-Davis here before the match. Baseball, soccer, and softball. And our deepest thanks to Trip Metzger, Lee Dodson, all the gang here at Lee-Davis for helping us out and allowing us to be here to broadcast again the game of the week. Number 2 Atlee gets the win 3-2 over number 1 Lee-Davis, who has their first loss of the season. 11-1 are the Confederates, 14-1 are the Raiders. Our next broadcast is Tuesday afternoon. We're back live on the RVA Sports Network at 4:30. It'll be Cosby at Midlothian in baseball. Join us for some daytime game of the week action. Again, 4:30 Tuesday afternoon, Cosby at Midlothian. Our complete broadcast schedule, as always, available at the right side of RVASportsNetwork.com. Thanks so much for being with us again here on the Game of the Week. Tonight's Game of the Week, an exclusive presentation of the RVA Sports Network and solely intended for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of our Game of the Week broadcast without the express written consent of HCS Media, LLC is strictly prohibited. Rob Witham saying thanks so much for being with us. And we will talk to you again Tuesday afternoon at 4:30. Be with us on Twitter, across our Twitter network, and we'll have our new top 10 polls, Super 6 polls, online and on the new Central Region Now podcast coming on Sunday. Have a good weekend, everybody.